Full right now. Good morning, 1 Million Cups Daytona Beach. Yeah. What a great turnout. Well, welcome to 1 Million Cups Daytona Beach. I'm Michael Zaharias. First question for you: who is a first-time visitor to 1 Million Cups today? Show of hands real quick. Wow, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. So just to let you know who we are and what we're doing. 1 Million Cups. Hey, Mike.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What's up, man?
I'm sorry.
It's okay. That's business activity happening, and that's part of the reason why we're here. But 1 Million Cups comes from the Kaufman Foundation out of Kansas City. Right now, in more than 175 cities, there is a 1 Million Cups meetup going on, like we are here, to bring entrepreneurs together to hear an inspiring story, to ask questions, to connect, and to be educated on business principles and topics. So we appreciate all of you being here. I'm one organizer of a whole group of organizers that puts this on every week. So I just ask the organizers in the room, put your hands up so you know who's helping make this happen every week. You know, it's completely volunteer-led. We love entrepreneurship. We love the community. We love all of you. So if you're watching this on Facebook Live, you should really be here in the room right now, because we just appreciate all of you turning out to support what we're doing. So with that being said, we've got Dr. Janelle with Premier Natural Health here today to talk about her story. So please help me give it up for Janelle.
But I want to talk to you about my business. My business is Premier Natural Health. My name is Dr. Janelle, and I want to be your first step in health. Sorry about that. So, what is my purpose? So what is Premier Natural Health's purpose? Our purpose is to see each patient as an individual. We actually look at what's going on with your body, and we want to find, instead of just listening to the symptoms and chasing the symptoms, what we actually do is we find out the underlying cause, and then we help you find what nutritional support you need to help your body using nutrition response testing. I'm also a chiropractor, so I also adjust the spine to get it in alignment so that we can take the interference out of that so that your body can heal itself naturally that way. And then the last thing that I do, which is really cool, is neuro-emotional technique. And what that does is that helps get rid of the negative thoughts and the things that are suppressing you from childhood or a week ago whenever you had a bad mood and you almost were in a car wreck. So we can help with all of those different things. So that's what my purpose is. So we help even the toughest of cases. I say I want to be your first step in health, but honestly, a lot of my patients, I'm their last resort. They've done everything else. They've seen the medical doctors, they've had the testing done, they've done it all, and they've gotten no answers. So really, I want to be your first step in health, but a lot of times, I'm your last resort. So how did I get here? How did I get to Florida? How did I get to be a chiropractor? How do I do nutrition response testing? How did I get here? Well, at age 22, I got shingles. This is a really funny story. So what happened was, it was my last semester at WVU. I went to the up all night party. It's the first party on Monday night. I stayed for 10 minutes. I looked around and I went, okay, I gotta go. I got up the next morning. I had the gnarliest rash right here. It burned, it itched, it was gross and disgusting, and it hurt. And did I mention that it burned? It itched, and it was gross. I was 22. I went to the doctor, and I went in, and they took my blood pressure, not the doctor, but the nurse. And they said, what's going on with you? And I said, this rash right here, and it itches, and it burns, and it hurts, and I don't like it, and it's gross, and get rid of it. And they said, oh, you have shingles. And I went, I don't have shingles. I'm not 80. I'm not old. There's no way I have shingles. So the medical doctor comes in, and he doesn't even look at it. He just says, where is it? Right here. What's it doing? Burns, itches, shiny, gross, itchy. It hurts. He said, it's shingles. Writes me a prescription, sends me on my way. I go over to the pharmacy. I'm 22, remember. Go into the pharmacy with a prescription for Valtrex, which, if you don't know, Valtrex is the herpes medication. I'm a 22-year-old college student. I don't have herpes. What's going on? Why do I need this? Well, herpes, the shingles is herpes, basically, just on your body, and that's what chickenpox is too. But anyways, what happened was they gave me the prescription, and it was $500 a pill, and I needed 10 days worth of the prescription. I said, thank you very much, turned around, walked out, never checked it. So I was seeing a nutritionist at the time to help me get into shape and get my body doing what it needed to do before I graduated. And she said, go see my chiropractor. I went, why am I going to go see a chiropractor? And she said, just go see Dr. Keith. And I went, okay. So I called Dr. Keith, and I said, Dr. Keith, they told me that I needed to come see you because I have shingles, but I don't know why. And he said, okay, yeah, come in. So went to see Dr. Keith. He said, you have shingles? I want to see it. I want to see your shingles. So first person to actually look at this nasty little rash that I had going on. He said, okay, I got a deal for you. Now, he had just met me, but this was his deal. He said, I'm going to adjust you, and your shingles are going to go away in like a day. And if it doesn't, I'm going to pay for your prescription. And I went, okay, sure. I'm going to get my prescription paid for, and this guy's crazy. That's what I thought. So he adjusts me. He tells me a little bit about chiropractic. I honestly remember nothing of this conversation about chiropractic other than he's going to adjust me and I'm going to get better. He's going to pay for my prescription. That's all I remember. This guy had so much faith in what he was doing that I was just, okay. So the next morning at 8 a.m., he calls me. Again, college student, not awake. I get up and I run into the bathroom and he's like, okay, what's it look like? No longer bumpy, no longer shiny, no longer red, no pain, no itchy. Now, this isn't every case with shingles. I'll totally admit it. I've seen a lot of shingles patients. We do get them over it very quickly because we get the interference taken out of the body. But what ended up happening was he said, okay, I'll see you every Wednesday from now until you graduate. So Dr. Keith had such a faith and love for chiropractic that he actually mentored me and told me about all the really cool things that chiropractic could do. So I graduated from West Virginia University in 2008, and I headed to chiropractic school. So in 2012, I graduated from chiropractic school here in Palmer, Florida, or in Port Orange, Florida. It's Palmer College of Chiropractic. And I got married. So after I got married, I began to work for my husband as an avionics repairman. So I'm an FAA certified avionics repairman. After a year of that, actually 2 years of that, I said, honey, I can't do this anymore. So I opened In Touch Chiropractic and Wellness Center. Don't I look happy? So happy. I got to do what I actually wanted to do. I got to be a chiropractor. I got to put my hands on people. Instead of putting my hands on airplanes, I was putting my hands on people. But behind that smile, this was really me. I was sick. I was really sick. I was overweight. I wasn't sleeping. I had horrible periods. If I was standing up here back in 2014, I would be sobbing uncontrollably. I had bad skin. I was a coffee and sugar addict. I drank so much espresso that it was about 18 shots of espresso a day. I needed espresso in the morning to get me up. I needed espresso at lunchtime to keep me going. I needed espresso at night to knock me out. My body was wrecked. I was a mess. So, let's see, anything else? Oh, I was really sad and my hair was falling out. That's not something you want as a girl. You don't want your hair falling out. So I was getting adjusted, kind of, once a month. You know, I'm a chiropractor, you gotta get adjusted, right? I was exercising. We were doing the 21-day fix at the time, so I was exercising 1 to 2 times a day, pretty intense. And I had blood work done. And my blood work said, there's nothing wrong with you. You're normal. You're almost 30 years old. This is just how your life is. Good luck. That's what a doctor actually told me. You're almost 30. This is just what happens when you get 30. You just get exhausted. And I'm like, but why? So what changed between then and now? Well, I met this guy. This is Dr. Freddie Yulin. He is a chiropractor, but he's actually the founder of nutrition response testing. So what nutrition response testing is it's a non-invasive system to analyze the body in order to determine the underlying causes of ill health. That's the key right there. Not symptoms, not why was I sad, why was I being so emotional, why did I have bad periods? No, it was let's find the underlying causes of your bad health, of your ill health. So then what we do is we correct these through safe, natural, nutritional means so the body can repair itself. Okay, so that's the other cool thing about this, is that we're not just masking your symptom, we're not just putting a Band-Aid over bullet holes, what I like to say whenever we use a lot of medications. Not that I'm against medications, we need them at times. But your body can actually repair itself whenever it's given proper nutrition, whenever it's given those proper building blocks, okay? And what we do is we repair it so that it can obtain and maintain optimum health. So in nutrition response testing, when I was tested, we found out that my thyroid, you guys know what the thyroid does? Well, for those of you who don't, it does everything, okay? It tells you how much weight you gain, how much weight you lose. It tells you how hot and how cold you are. It tells you about your emotions. Well, it doesn't tell you, it controls those. It controls your periods. It controls fertility. It controls hair loss. It controls literally everything. And then it was my adrenals. So for those of you who don't know, your thyroid's here. It's a little bow tie shaped guy right here. Your adrenals actually live on your back. Okay, so they live on top of your kidneys. They're little pyramid-shaped glands, really cool little guys. They do a lot. But those were also stressed on me. So what did the adrenals do? Well, basically everything that the thyroid doesn't do, the adrenals take care of as well. So again, periods, weight loss, weight gain, where you store your fat. If your adrenals aren't working properly, you're going to store more fat, especially in this belly spot. The other thing that the adrenals do is they actually can cause you back pain. So it may not be that your back actually needs adjusted or that you need a massage. I'm not against those things. I'm a chiropractor. I love all of that. But if your adrenals aren't working properly, you're also not going to hold your adjustment or hold your massage as well. So I was stressed. My whole body was stressed, okay? So what did I do to help that? Well, I got on a nutrition response testing program. So I took supplements because our food, unfortunately, in this country is not as good as we need it to be, especially if you're not eating organic, okay? So I took supplements and I identified the foods and the chemicals that were affecting me negatively, and we either eliminated them or we reduced them as much as I could, because we do live in the world and sometimes you just can't get away from car exhaust. I don't know why. But what that did is it allowed my body to actually start healing. So I wanted to help others. So in 2018, I completed the route to clinical mastery with UNS, which is Ulan Nutrition Systems, and I became a master of nutrition response testing. So what Dr. Freddie said was there's a stressor that's introduced into the body that then leads to either a nutritional deficiency or an organ dysfunction. So what does that mean? So I'm going to use this because everyone eats sugar, right? Everything has sugar in it. So what happens when I love your chocolate? I'm not dissing your chocolate. They have vegan chocolate and it has coconut sugar in it, which doesn't affect the body as negatively as white chocolate. So there we go. So illnesses, we're going to go with sugar because we introduced that stress into our body. Then what happened? Well, this was me. What happened with me is I put sugar in my body because I was sad. Sugar then led to the mineral deficiencies. The mineral deficiencies then led to a thyroid dysfunction, which then caused me to, because it does this, caused me to get even sadder. So then, to make myself happy, I ate more sugar, which then led to more nutritional deficiencies. So it's just a never-ending cycle until you're just so sick that you don't know what to do. That's basically what happened to me. So, does anyone want to be a volunteer? Okay, come on up. So I'm going to give you a demonstration of what nutrition response testing looks like. It's a muscle testing technique. Hi.
I did this
Have you?
30 years ago.
Very cool. I love it.
And it works.
It does. It works really well. Okay. So I'm going to have to put the mic down, so you guys are just going to have to, if you can't hear me, tell me. Okay? All right.
This works.
This is cool. I'm so glad that you like it. I'll let you hold it. Okay. So Steve already knows about it, but I'm going to show you guys anyway. So what we're going to do is Steve, go ahead and put your arm on it. I won't fight, I promise. All right, just one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push down and you're going to release that pressure. Perfect. So all he's using is his deltoid muscle. Do you guys know what the deltoid muscle is? For those of you who don't, it's the pretty muscle right here. Okay, it's a pretty one. Okay.
On most people.
This is true. So just give me some back pressure. Good. So what we're going to do is I'm going to act as a stressor and I'm going to touch different areas of his body. We're going to start with his head, come down to his neck. I might have to work through here too. Okay?
That's fine.
Okay, just match. Good. Just match. Good. Good. Excellent. Okay. Okay. So when I touch his thyroid, now this is common. There's about 80% of the people who walk through my office, they have a thyroid issue. It's just the nature of where we live and what we do. So when I touch here, his arm goes down. It's just a stressor. So why is it doing that? Okay? Do you guys know about hypothermia? I know you do. You know about hypothermia. Yeah. So what happens with hypothermia is your body is really smart and it has to protect itself. So I pick you up and I throw you out into that freezing water right now. And your body says, how am I going to survive? Well, it takes all the blood and all the energy away from your hands and your feet, because you can live without those guys, and it puts it all right here, okay? After that, what happens is you should survive, hopefully. So what's going on here is it's the same concept. When I touch his arm, Steve's body says, you can touch my arm all day, it's fine. But when I touch his thyroid, his body says, no, no. Take the arm. You can have the arm. Protect that thyroid. So then what I do as a nutrition response testing practitioner is I have to find what food his body wants. So I'm going to let you hold that. Okay. I'll explain that in a second. It's a mash. Okay. Mash. No, you don't like that one. So as you saw, that one didn't work.
Now,
So
what was that one?
So this is Thytrophin. Thytrophin is a product by standard process that's good for the thyroid, just not his thyroid. Yep. Perfect. Okay. So he likes this one. So that's what's special and unique about this is that we have to figure out exactly what his body wants in order to make him a more optimal him. Okay? So this is trace minerals B12. But as you saw,
Oh, yeah.
hold that. That's a pretty good one.
Oh, I love you.
Yeah. So when he holds that one in his hand, he gets nice and strong. But whenever I give him what most people like,
Do you
which
have
is,
corn?
do I have corn?
Yeah.
And, not with me. Why?
Well, because corn,
Mhm.
when I held corn,
Your
I
arm.
did this years ago. And the doctor
Absolutely.
said, don't go near corn.
No.
When I held pepper,
Mhm.
it explained
Oh.
why I unscrewed the top
And you dump
on
pepper on your
pepper,
food?
and I
Yeah.
dumped pepper on everything.
And that's what's cool about it is that we can show what makes, okay, that's what makes it so unique is that we can find out exactly what foods you're sensitive to. We can tell you what supplements your body actually needs versus the ones that you don't need. Because if you go into like any store, right, they have a ton of different supplements there and you might want to try them. So I wanted to give him Thytrophin. That was my first thought because thyroid Thytrophin, but that's not what you wanted. So it's really cool that we could find the right thing for you. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. So how this works, that he can just hold this little bottle in his hand and it's no or a yes. Not really no or yes, but we'll use that terminology just for now. So how that works is the same way that you can feel the big ball of energy in the sky, right? You can feel the sun, you can feel heat, okay? Travels 93 million miles down to us, and you can sit in your car, or you can sit in that nice bay window in your house, and you can get all that heat from it. Same concept. Just what do we use for energy? You guys know? How do we fuel our bodies? Food, good, thank you. So this is the same concept. In these little bottles, this is just a much smaller version of food, okay? So instead of telling you, okay, you have to go out, Steve, and eat a whole room full of kale, are you gonna do that? Probably not. Okay, I wouldn't do that. I love kale, but I'm not gonna eat a whole room full of kale every day. So we give it to you in a much smaller version. But your body's really smart and it can say, yes, this is the right energy for me, or no, this isn't the right energy for me. So as you saw, whenever he held the wrong thing, his arm was like, no, I don't like this, I don't want it, get it away from me. But when we gave him the right thing, his body was like, yeah, I'm Superman. I can hold this, and it makes my thyroid extra strong. So that's what nutrition response testing does. That's what makes it so special and so unique. So, let me see, what's my next slide? Okay, so I have an offer for you guys. Because you came and you listened to me at 1Million Cups, and you guys let me talk, and let me show you my really cool trick with Steve, and he got to tell you about his experience with it as well. I'm gonna give you guys a special deal. So typically my 2-day visit, my initial visit, is $240, but because you guys are here, you're gonna get it for $80. So what is covered in that 2-day visit? Well, on day 1, we do a Health Express. What that means is that I hook you up to a computer, you get to lay down and chill out for a little bit, and then you stand up and you chill out for a little bit. But it gives me a reading as to how your body's healing and if it's healing, okay? It also tells me some other things, but those are the 2 key points on it. And we do your vitals, because those are really important. How's your blood pressure? How's your temperature? How are you doing? Is one of your goals weight loss? If it is, cool, then we gotta find your starting point. What's your weight? We do a comprehensive history. So what that means is that I ask you to bring 5. You can do more, but we start with 5 things that if I had a magic wand, I could fix on you and your body, okay? After that, what I do is I do a nutrition response testing analysis. So what I did this morning was just a demo. We just found an organ that wasn't happy, found out what it liked, handed it to them. What we actually do in the office is we check your entire body to see how the whole body is doing, okay? After that, you go home, you have a little bit of homework. And then what you do when you come back is I give you a report of findings. During that report of findings, I get to do the talking. During day 1, you do the talking, basically. Day 2, I talk, and I tell you everything that I found about you and what my plan of action is and how I feel that I can help you, okay? So again, for 1 Million Cup Special, it's 80 instead of 240. So with that, do you guys have any questions?
Wow, give it up for Dr. Janelle. Hang on a second. We're going to bring that mic around. If you have a question, hands up. Make sure to introduce yourself and also get to your question, okay? Keeler, you were just up there. I'm gonna give it. Hang on. That question.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Fantastic presentation. I'm really intrigued. I have to ask one question.
I'm ready.
So after you did the little test with Steve, you said this is what his body needs.
Yeah,
So why not just carry that around with him all the time?
that's a great question.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you a funny story because everything's easier and better with stories. So my dad did this. My dad is a great believer in what I do now. But when I decided I was going to chiropractic school, he said, Janelle, you're a quack. A duck. That's okay. I didn't take offense to it. Love him. Then I went and I did nutrition response testing. And he tried this. He put it in his pocket, didn't you? Yeah. He just carried the pills around. And the cool thing about it is that your body will tell us if you're not taking your supplements. If you are taking your supplements, your body can actually use the energy and the nutrition to actually heal itself. If not, you're not really giving yourself any benefits of the actual supplement. So that's why you have to take them.
Here you go. Come on.
Hi, Nick Hatton from Ormond Beach.
Hi.
So I'm listening to all of what you're saying, and I'm trying to connect the dots. So the supplements that you're using, are they similar to homeopathy? Are they micro concentrations, preparations of whatever it is you
Yeah.
discover? Is
So-
that what we're talking about?
So
Or
there's
is it
different
something
things.
different?
There's a whole bunch of different things. So you get to know everything now. So in my office, we do a bunch of stuff. We find out exactly what your body's wanting. So be it, well, except medicine, because I don't practice medicine. But what we do is we have different levels. So if you need a whole food supplement, that tells me that your case is pretty mild. What a whole food supplement is it means that they took the plant out of the ground, or they took the, we'll be real here, they took the organ out of the animal, they dried it up, they ground it up, and then they put it in pill form. So instead of making you go home and eat a whole bunch of organ meat, I can give it to you in pill form. Or instead of eating a whole room full of kale, I can give it to you in pill form. I also do homeopathy in my office. We also do herbs in our office, depending upon what you need. And then we also do stem cells in our office. They're oral stem cells, and if your body needs that, it's super cool. So yeah, so we do a little bit of different things. Just whatever your body needs, we find it, and we help you heal.
Well, you piqued my interest there with
Oh,
the
cool.
stem cell.
Yeah, they're super cool.
So where are you coming up with the stem cells? Are you spinning down blood? What are you doing?
No, just muscle testing.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the stem cells come from, it's actually a company out of Miami, but the stem
Okay.
cells are actually coming from beautiful, I shouldn't say it this way, but they're beautiful little black sheep in France. That's where they are grown and that's where they live. And the pictures that we see, I'm just like, they live better lives than I do. Like, they're gorgeous. So yeah.
Very cool. Thank you.
Mhm.
Just a testimonial. I gave my list of 5 wishes for my body when I went to the
Yeah.
nutrition response testing.
Awesome, good.
And it was insomnia.
Mm-hmm.
I had serious shoulder and foot pain.
Yeah.
Energy was completely reduced at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh no.
And the energy level, and 2 other things that were on my list, and within a month and a half, they were all gone.
Very cool. That's awesome.
There was a question submitted on Facebook Live. Are you willing to offer the offer of $80 to anybody that's watching online?
Sure. So I will offer that offer for the next 2 weeks.
Cool. All right. Next question. Anybody over here, this side of the room? Well, here we go.
I didn't hear it.
Does it count for the spouses as well?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Anybody back here? Questions, comments? Oh.
I do.
Hello all, my name is Ed, I'm from Daytona Beach. I had a heart attack about 2 years ago,
Mhm.
and I have about I think 3 stents in my right side, right ventricle.
Uh-huh.
Now, I'm eating a little more healthy, but I still have my cravings for pasta and
I
big
understand.
juicy steaks and that type of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of wondering, how do you stop the cravings for like steak and chocolate and pasta and cheese and...
That's a great question.
You know, that's a really great question. So there's different thought processes, and I try my hardest to not go against any other medical professional, just because we all kind of need to be on we need to be in the same book. Maybe not on the same page, but we need to at least be in the same book. So it depends on what your body's needing. And I understand the craving of the meat and things like that, because sometimes your body needs that food, so that's why you crave that food. Now, with sugar, that's a different subject. Sugar is, our body sees it as a drug, honestly. Like if you look at a brain scan of someone who just did cocaine, and you look at a brain scan of someone who just ate a whole bunch of sugar, they're the same. It's really bad. It's really bad. So the sugar craving it's real. It's a real addiction. Yeah.
Sugar also affects the brain like
Absolutely.
cocaine.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but with meat and cheeses, sometimes that's your body actually saying you need those things, because cheese is a fat, right? And your body either runs on sugar or it runs on fat. And it's much cleaner when it's running. It's a much cleaner machine, because that's what we are, when we run on cheese.
What about allergies?
Depends. So there's different things we can do with nutrition response testing with allergies and things like that. So if you're craving a food that you're allergic to, that's a whole nother room that we need to walk into and talk about it. So, but with meats and things like that, sometimes because you did have a heart issue, heart's muscle, right? And meat is muscle that we're eating. So again, I'm not going to tell you not to eat meat. I'm not going to tell you to eat meat, because I don't know your whole history or your whole story. But that may be something that your body's needing. So
Yes.
it would be something that we may
Thank you.
need to talk about
Thank
later.
you.
Yeah.
I am a patient of Dr. Janelle.
Right into the
Yeah.
seat.
Oh, I've been seeing Dr. Janelle for about a year, and in 1991 I had Graves' disease, which is hyperactive thyroid, so I had to take radioactive iodine. Never felt right since. And just recently, my doctor reduced the amount of Synthroid by 25 micrograms, which I think is a big deal. And also, I had trouble sleeping, and this is another tremendous deal. I am sleeping 7-8 hours a night, so I'm just so pleased and thankful. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
Hi, Desiree Villanova with the County Healthcare Guideline. I have an assisted living facility, and as you know, the elderly sometimes suffer from anxiety, like sundowners,
Absolutely.
Restlessness, insomnia, depression. Have you worked with them, and do you have a proven track record with them? Because you could make a killing in this area.
I know. So actually in the office, so I've worked at different offices doing this, and I branched out on my own last year in January of 2018. And at that office, yes, we did. We worked with a lot of older members of the community, and we had very good results with them. Yes, we have good results with them, let's put it that way.
What did you want to say?
Well, I wanted to say that it's not a depression medication. It's not that your body's missing deficiency. That's the word I was looking for. It's not a medication deficiency when it comes to depression. It's more we got to get the right balance of minerals, the right balance of food, and the right balance of nutrition. I mean, you got to be active too, and you got to do things as well. But that's really the key.
So you're saying that you fuel positivity with the right food?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
All right, another question for Facebook Live. Can you help heal gluten and dairy intolerances where blood work has proven allergic responses?
So I don't heal the body. That's not my job. What happens is that we find out what your body needs, what it's missing, and then your body will start healing itself naturally. Now, with things like gluten and dairy, I have seen really good results doing different techniques and different things with the nutrition response testing to actually get the body so that if you happen across a piece of bread and you eat it, you're not going to be sick all day, like with most gluten intolerant people or with lactose intolerant people. Does that mean that we cure you of that allergy? No. It just means that the sensitivity will start going down. So the good thing about this technique is that I have a couple patients who, when they started, if they even looked at gluten, if they even got into a room where there was gluten, they were sick, and they were sick for days. And then we did the technique, and now it's like if they eat out, they don't get sick anymore because there may be cross-contamination. She will not walk into a restaurant and pick up a piece of bread and eat it, but that's just because her brain has been trained, don't eat that. But it doesn't wreck her day if she gets something that has gluten on it. So yeah, so there's that.
Go ahead, Sean.
Good morning, Sean Evans, I'm VP with the ARC of Volusia. I'm a disabled veteran, suffer from PTSD and Gulf War syndrome. Number one, do you work with veterans that suffer from those? Because
Absolutely.
the top 4 things you have there,
Absolutely.
can you share that with the group?
Yeah, so I actually have a couple patients right now that have suffered from PTSD. They were veterans of the, I think they were in Afghanistan. Yeah, they were in Afghanistan. And so what we found on them was that they were having high amounts of stress, obviously, with depression, with anxiety, and with stress and fatigue. But what we ended up finding on them was that, 1, they were eating too much sugar. 2, they had a lack of B vitamins. And then another one was that they just had a lack of minerals. And they had different organs that we had to handle. And once we handled them, one guy in particular that I'll tell his story, he lets me, he was not sleeping. He was staying up all night playing video games because that's the only thing that kept him calm. His wife actually would lock him in a room so that she and her daughter felt comfortable enough to go to sleep. And it was like I think it was like 2 weeks into his program, he came in and he was like, I went to sleep last night. And I was like, that's awesome. He had not slept for years because every time he closed his eyes to lay down to sleep, he had flashbacks as to what he had experienced in Afghanistan. So that was a huge win for me. Now, is everything cured and everything's gone? No, but he knows that any time that he has a relapse, we have to change a few things in his program, and then he's back to sleeping, back to doing really, really well. There's other techniques that I do and that different practitioners that I work with do that can help a lot with that. It's just we have to get the right balance in your body. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Hi, Janelle, it's your poster boy again, Steve Keelan.
Thank you, Steve.
Just a comment. First of all, you did a fabulous job.
Thank you.
Very, very informative. But I had mentioned your chart. You have a special on for a couple of weeks at $80.
Yep.
It was probably about 20 plus years ago when I had that done. Not only was it invaluable, I paid almost $600. It's not something insurance generally covers. And so it'll be the best $80 you could possibly spend. I'm really rave about it.
So the thing with nutrition response testing that he does mention is that it's much, much, much easier to get yourself better, like to get yourself staying good instead of taking a sick body and trying to make it better. It takes a lot more time and a lot more work from both parties. So this isn't and I'll just be upfront, it's not a one-time shot. Like you don't come in once and you're cured. You don't come in once and everything's perfect. We have to monitor you and I have to check some things on you throughout the program. But like he said, it's so much easier once you learn what your body doesn't like and what your body does like and things to avoid and things like that. So much easier to keep you well than it is to take you from being sick and then get you well.
Good morning, Dr. Tyler LeCompte, Networks Inc. Thank you so much for your presentation. This is awesome. Can you talk a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey?
Absolutely.
And some of the challenges as well as the resources locally that help you, and something that you would probably never do again as a business owner. At least one example.
Absolutely.
Right.
So some of my challenges, so I started my business. And the first one I started, because I'll just go back then, in 2014, I opened my doors, and I was well known in the community that I opened my doors in, and I thought, I'm going to have such an easy time starting my practice. And then I sat there. And I told people, I was like, hey, my sign's up. You should come see me. I'm right there. I went to the restaurant across the street, and I was like, hey, I'm open. You should come see me.
I'm a great chiropractor. I'm really, really good. I'm nice. I'm gentle. I'm friendly. I smile a lot. Come see me. I'm here. Okay. It didn't come. It didn't happen. Word of mouth is always your best thing, but if you don't have anyone talking about you, it's not really a good thing. So I ended up, so that was hard, and that was my first business. Second business, so this one, so Premier Natural Health, has been a lot easier because I actually got involved in groups. So Chamber is great because you get to talk to people and you get to meet people. They help you do a ribbon cutting, which is always awesome, because that gets more people introduced to your business. Another thing that I wouldn't do is, I paid for a couple different things that were marketing related. I sponsored a golf tournament and a golf hole, which sounds great as a chiropractor because golfers hurt themselves all the time. But again, they just walked past it. So that's not something that I was really big on. Something that I've done recently, other than just networking groups, is I started doing a newsletter. You guys have those on your tables. Another thing that I do is I host classes, so that's really good. Getting more information out. So my goal is to educate people. So yes, I want to get you better. Yes, I want to sell you supplements, and yes, I want to, test you and do all these things. But really, I want you to learn how to help yourself as well. And that's part of the program that I do with my patients. Is I start teaching you, like, okay, you shouldn't eat sugar. Well, what has sugar in it? Everything. So how are we going to replace those things? Okay, so instead of eating crappy chocolate that I get, I'm going to plug for you. Instead of eating crappy chocolate that I get from Target or Walmart or wherever, I'm going to go to them because they have a vegan chocolate that has coconut sugar in it. And like I said earlier, coconut sugar doesn't react to your body the same way that white sugar does. So we train you on different ways to, different things that you can do to replace those foods that you're missing and that you want. So, yeah.
Awesome, thank you. And I appreciate the prescription for Southwest chocolate.
Absolutely, it's so good, it's so good.
Any other questions? Once, twice, that's it? Come on, give it up for Dr. Janelle. All right, we've got several giveaways, so
all kinds of giveaways. You had that one.
yeah, we're going to put you on the spot here to draw a couple of cards. Why don't you bring up Dr. Janelle's giveaways first?
I'm working on it.
Because in addition to the special offer, she has...
Oh, thank you very much for being a presenter.
You guys take a step forward. Perfect.
All right, so what do we got first? We got Dr.
First, we
giveaway.
have the missing piece, Introduction to Nutrition Response Testing.
Yep.
From Dr. Janelle.
Wesley Stewart.
Wesley.
Where'd he go? Oh, he's in the back. I got Wesley.
We'll get that to Wesley in a minute.
Number
Wesley,
2.
come on up.
Where he is, Wesley.
Just won the nutrition book.
All right. Next, we have a free ionic foot bath.
Yeah. So if you guys have seen the ionic foot baths, there's ones that you put your feet in, and they change colors because what they do is they pull different chemicals and metals and things out of your system, and they balance you. So.
That's not the goldfish that eat all those chemicals.
That's gross. All right, Sandra Presswood. Hey.
Hey, come on up, Sandra. All right, let's see
The third one is
Go.
Come here, Sandra. We want a photo of you. Is the nutritional response
So the third one is a free nutrition response testing initial visit. So that's instead of you paying the $80 or the $240 for the regular visit, it's a free initial visit.
Wow. Yeah. Anybody else want to throw their card in?
I'll take it.
I didn't throw one of mine in either.
All right, and this is for Derek Brantley.
Derek, come on up, Derek.
You should appreciate that. Derek's one of our newer members as well, and is a manual therapist. So, cool. There you go. See about you. All right. And I don't know. These are just
our
some
resident
photos
photographer.
I picked up locally. I like them. I like the appearance.
Johnny Nomad Media.
Johnny Nomad Media, right there.
Thank you.
First photo going to Silas.
You want the? Which one you want?
You got Streets of San Juan, Puerto Rico, or the Flagler Pier?
Oh, Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
All right,
Thank
last
you.
photo
Wow.
going to
Flagler Pier at Sunrise.
Robert.
Yeah, Robert.
Robert. Come on up.
All right, and one more, last one.
Million Cups Coffee Mug.
Yep.
Peter.
Peter.
Peter, there he is.
Hey, there we go. All right. superstar, folks. Tyler LeCombe. Give it up for Tyler. This is our lead. He is our official lead organizer for 1 Million Cups. So anything Kaufman needs, he's going all over the country talking about Daytona Beach. We're so blessed to have Tyler as part of the team, man. So you keep blasting the message. We normally wrap it up with announcements. Anybody got any announcements? I don't want to skip over that. Lori, why don't you come on up real quick?
Johnny, you got one?
And Johnny will do yours too. Thais, got an announcement? Sean, Volusia's Best, anything? All right.
You know what? I'll do Volusia's Best. Yeah. Okay.
Conklin Center for the Blind has been around for 40 years this year, and we are having an anniversary gala at the News Journal Center on March 21st. We're bringing world-renowned concert pianist Aldo Ragone from Rome, Italy, for one night only, $50. For general admission tickets, www.conklincenter.org. You can buy tickets there.
Great, thanks so much.
Just a shameless little self-promotion plug, because I'm not into self-promotion at all. This is my baby.
I know not to touch the camera.
Kind of partly myself and Thais. My artwork is actually featured at Thais' art gallery and studio. So it will be till the end of the month. So if you'd like, just come by. And if you let Thais or myself know, I'll be happy to meet you there and kind of show you all of my art. So thank you.
Jody has a beautiful display at the gallery. The gallery is open by chance or by appointment. So you guys can come and I can show you guys the display. But he's going to be displayed until the end of the month, until our next art walk. And he does have a beautiful display. You guys should come by.
It is nice.
So just so you know real quick too, if you follow 1 Million Cups on Facebook, 1 Million Cups Daytona Beach, Johnny posts the photos there usually a couple of days after this event. So you can take a look at those and download and purchase from there. All right, so we had one more. Tyler.
Yeah. You got one? Yeah, come on. I got three, so you got time. Okay, so first and foremost, Volusia's Best. If you're not familiar with the Volusia's Best program, it is a second stage growth business improvement program that's sponsored by the SBDC and Daytona State College. It is something that Sean and I are the ambassadors for. We're currently launching a new program called PEP, which is the Peak Employee Performance Program. Sean is going to be the lead instructor. We're going to be bringing in some specialists, etc. We've got a first class coming up on March 19th, which is going to be engaging employees. Tickets are currently available. You can reach us or you can check out the Daytona State College, daytonastatecollege.org/BB.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we can talk about that next. Sean, myself, Alex are going to Podfest this weekend to support Chris Cosmatos, who came up here and did the Podfest Expo. So we're going to be reporting back for you guys. We will probably try and grab as much information as we can and try and share it with the group. We know there was a lot of interest in podcasting here. And then last, what was last? Is that it? I know. He's the third.
Yeah, anytime. Introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Derek with Back and Bounds Bodywork. I do soft tissue work for chronic pain and musculoskeletal issues. I specialize in a technique called rapid neurofascial reset. Just educating people about what I do. I'll be doing a seminar next Wednesday at Big B Coffee in Ormond Beach at 5:30 p.m. Anybody that wants to show up gets a free cup of coffee on me just to listen to me talk and do a presentation. Hopefully it'll be as wonderful as yours was. You're welcome. So I'll be there. I look forward to seeing you guys there.
And when you're ready, we're going to have you come up here on stage too. So.
All right, so anybody has an event? Come on up. Big B Coffee in Ormond Beach.
It's right off of Granada.
Right, Big B-I-G-B-Y Coffee. It's right across from Lowe's.
Right across from Lowe's.
I don't live in the area.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah, absolutely.